Welcome to AF Tales. Today's story is about a man whose fiancée calls him forgettable, only for him to discover their friends actually prefer him to her. As you listen, notice the moment where you think he finally saw the relationship for what it really was. My fiancé said, "On your own you are forgettable." I replied, "Good to know." Then I stopped going to her events, let her go alone, let her friends ask where I was, and I just watched as one brunch conversation turned her confidence into shock. My fiancé said, "People only invite you because of me." "On your own, you are forgettable," I replied. "Good to know." That week, I stopped going anywhere with her. 3 days later, one of her closest friends pulled her aside at brunch, whispered something, and my fiancé went completely pale. I am Ethan, 29, and I spent 2 years engaged to someone who slowly convinced me I had no value outside of being her plus one. This is about the week I tested that idea and found out she had been lying to both of us. I met Taylor when I was 27. She was charismatic and social, the kind of person who somehow knew everyone at every party. I am more reserved, the person who prefers dinner with 3 friends over a loud, crowded bar. Opposites attract, right? For a while, it worked. She pulled me into her social world. I helped her slow down when things got overwhelming. We got engaged after 18 months. The relationship felt solid, or at least I thought it did. Looking back, the cracks were there early. I just did not recognize them as cracks. Taylor had this habit of positioning herself as the reason I had a social life. "Thank God I brought you out tonight. You would never leave the apartment otherwise. People would not even know you exist if I did not introduce you around." At first it sounded like teasing. Over time, it became her standard explanation for why we were invited places. This is how slow erosion works. It is not one big insult. It is 10 small ones that start to sound like facts. About 4 months ago, the comments got sharper. We were getting ready for her coworker's birthday party when she turned to me and said, "You should make more of an effort to talk to people tonight. I do not want them thinking I dragged along dead weight." "Dead weight," I repeated. "You know what I mean," she said. "You stand in the corner with one drink all night, people notice, so do not make me look bad. I cannot show up alone. That looks worse. Just try to be more engaged." I tried. At the party, I talked to her coworkers. I asked about their jobs, listened to their stories, laughed when it made sense. But I could see it in her expression the whole night. I was not performing well enough for her. I was not the charming accessory she apparently wanted on her arm. The breaking point came 2 weeks ago. We were invited to a dinner party hosted by one of her closest friends, Rebecca. 8 couples, fancy restaurant, everyone trading travel stories and career updates. Yacht trips, promotions, new investments, that kind of night. I was quiet for most of it, not because I was uncomfortable, but because I did not have much to add. I have never been on a yacht. I am not climbing some dramatic corporate ladder. My life is steady and normal. Taylor kept giving me looks, subtle glances that basically said, "Say something. Do something. Stop embarrassing me." On the drive home, she let it all out. "That was painful," she said. "You barely said 10 words all night." "I did not have anything to contribute to those conversations," I said. "That is the problem," she snapped. "You never do, you just sit there making me look bad." "How does my being quiet make you look bad?" I asked. She pulled the car into our parking lot and turned to me. "Because people only invite you because of me. They do not actually want you there. They tolerate you because you are with me. On your own, you are forgettable." The word hung in the air. Forgettable, she said it calmly, like she was telling me the weather, like she was finally sharing some practical truth I needed to accept. "Good to know," I said quietly. "I am not trying to be mean," she added. "I am being realistic. You need to hear this. If you want people to want you around, you need to make more effort." I got out of the car and went inside. She followed me, still talking about social strategies and how I could adjust my personality. I nodded. I said very little. Later that night, I lay in bed replaying her words. "On your own, you are forgettable." There is a difference between gentle feedback and a partner rewriting your worth. This was not feedback. This was control. The next morning, I made a decision. If people only invited me because of Taylor, then I would stop going places with Taylor. Let us see what actually happens. That week, she had 3 social events planned. Wednesday drinks with her work friends, Friday dinner at Rebecca's again, Saturday brunch with her college roommates. These were all things I would normally attend without even thinking. This time I stayed home. Wednesday afternoon, she asked, "What time will you be ready to leave?" "I am not going tonight," I said. Why not?" "You said people only invite me because of you," I replied. "So I am testing that theory. You go have fun, I will stay home." "Ethan, I did not mean you should stop coming to things." "No," I said. "You were clear. If I am forgettable and only there because of you, there is no point in me going. People will probably enjoy themselves more without me." "You are being ridiculous," she said. "Maybe," I said, "but I am also being forgettable at home where it will not embarrass you." She went without me, came home around 11, did not mention it. Friday she tried again. "Aren't you coming to Rebecca's?" she asked. "No." "Why not now?" she said. "You said people tolerate me because of you," I replied. "I do not want to be tolerated." "You go enjoy yourself. People are going to ask where you are," she said. "Tell them I am being forgettable somewhere else," I said. She went to dinner and came home agitated, pacing. "Rebecca asked about you," she said. "I told her you were not feeling well." "Why lie?" I asked. "Because I cannot exactly say my fiancé is having a tantrum about something I said," she snapped. "This is not a tantrum," I said. "This is me respecting your judgment about my social value." By Saturday morning, she was clearly stressed. Brunch with her college friends was the big one. These were the people she talked to almost every day. "You are coming to brunch," she said. "No," I said. "Ethan, enough. This has gone on long enough. People are asking questions," she said. "What questions?" I asked. "About me or about us?" "About why you are suddenly not around," she said. "Tell them the truth," I said. "That I am forgettable and people only invite me because of you." "I never should have said that," she muttered. "But you did," I said. "And now I am curious whether it is true." She went to brunch alone. I stayed home, read for a while, worked on a project for my job, enjoyed the quiet. It was the first weekend in a long time where I did not feel like I was on a performance review. She came home at 4 in the afternoon, walked in looking shaken and pale. She did not say anything, just went straight to the bedroom. I gave her an hour, then went to check on her. She was sitting on the bed, staring at the wall. "What happened?" I asked. "Nothing," she said. "Taylor, you look like someone died," I said. "What happened at brunch?" She looked up at me, and for the first time since I had known her, I saw genuine uncertainty in her eyes. "Jen pulled me aside after brunch," she said. "She asked why you were not coming to things anymore. I told her you were busy with work. She said that was fine. Then she said," Taylor swallowed. "She said everyone has been asking about Ethan, not about why he is not there, but about him specifically. They miss him." I sat down. "She said you are one of the few people at these gatherings who actually listens," Taylor went on. "Who remembers details about their lives, who does not try to one-up every story, and she asked if I had been making you feel unwelcome, if I had said something that made you stop coming." The room went quiet. "What did you tell her?" I asked. "I lied," Taylor said. "I said you were just stressed about work, but she did not believe me. She said if I was making you feel like you did not belong, I was making a huge mistake." "Why would that be a mistake?" I asked. Taylor's voice cracked. "Because apparently people have been complaining about how I dominate conversations," she said. "How I make everything about me, how they are glad when you are around because you balance me out." I let that sink in. "People have been saying that?" I asked. "According to Jen, yes," she said. "For months, they just never said it to me directly." There it was, the flip. "So when you said people only invite me because of you," I asked. "I was wrong," she said quietly. "I was completely wrong. They invite me because I am your girlfriend. You are the one they actually want there." Sometimes the harsh truth is not that you are less lovable than you think. It is that you have been building your confidence by pushing someone else down. The next few days were tense. Taylor tried to act normal, but it was clear her entire self-image had taken a hit. On Wednesday, she asked if I wanted to come to drinks with her coworkers. I said no. She went alone, came home 2 hours later looking deflated. "They asked about you again," she said. "Kelly said she misses talking to you about books. Apparently, you two have been having this ongoing sci-fi conversation, and she has been wanting to recommend something to you." I frowned. "I do not remember having an ongoing conversation with Kelly," I said. "That is the thing," Taylor said. "You do not realize when you are connecting with people. You think you are just being polite, but you actually make them feel heard. I never noticed because I was too busy performing." On Friday, Rebecca texted me directly. "Hey," the message said. "Taylor said you have been swamped with work, but we are having a small dinner next week and would love if you could make it. No pressure, but you are missed." I showed Taylor the text. She stared at it for a long time. "You should go," she said. "With you?" I asked. "Without me," she said quietly. "They invited you specifically, not us, you." "What does that mean for us?" I asked. She sat down, shoulders slumped. "I think it means I have been an idiot," she said. "I have spent 2 years telling you that you are only interesting because of me, when the truth is I am only tolerable because of you." "That is not completely fair to you," I said. "It is," she replied. "Jen sent me a longer message today. Want to read it?" She handed me her phone. The message was blunt. Jen laid out months of observations, how Taylor talked over people, how she steered everything back to herself, how she quietly dismissed other people's stories, and then the line that hit hardest. "The only time you are actually bearable is when Ethan is there. He softens you, he makes you listen. When he is not around, you are exhausting." I handed the phone back. "That is harsh," I said. "That is honest," she replied. "And I have been doing the same thing to you, telling you that you are forgettable when really I was terrified people might like you more than me." She looked at me. "I need to figure some things out," she said, "about myself, about how I treat people, about how I have been treating you." We did not break up right away. Taylor started therapy. She began talking about her need to be the center of attention and how her confidence was really insecurity in disguise. I started going to social events again, but I set clearer boundaries. I told her she could not talk about me as dead weight or embarrassing ever again in public or private. We tried for about 3 months, but there was a problem. She had spent 2 years telling me I had no social value. I had believed her. Even with apologies and better behavior, I could not unhear, "You are forgettable." And she could not handle the reality that the social circle she thought she had built actually preferred my company to hers. We called off the engagement in March. We split as calmly as we could, considering the foundation of our relationship had turned out to be her insecurity and my slowly eroded self-esteem. The ironic part, after we split, I kept getting invited to things. Rebecca's dinners, Kelly's book club, game nights with Taylor's former coworkers. They were not inviting me because of Taylor anymore. They were inviting me in spite of her. Taylor moved to a different city 6 months later. New job, new social circle, hopefully better self-awareness. I genuinely hope she learns to be the charismatic person she always wanted to be without needing to shrink other people to feel tall. As for me, I learned that forgettable was never the right word. I am not loud. I am not the center of attention. I am not the life of any party. But I am someone people want around because I listen, I remember, and I do not turn every conversation into a competition. That is not forgettable. That is a different kind of memorable. The moment Jen pulled Taylor aside at brunch and said, "Everyone is wondering where Ethan is," that was the beginning of the end. Not because I wanted built her revenge identity or to on prove being Taylor the reason wrong, I had a social but because life. we both finally had
When
to
that
see
turned
our
out to be
relationship
false.
clearly. She had to confront who she actually was, and I had to confront the fact that I spent 2 years accepting someone else's low opinion of me as truth. Sometimes the cruelest thing someone can do is convince you that you do not matter. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is test whether that is actually true. Lessons. Lesson 1. If a partner repeatedly tells you that you only matter because of them, believe the pattern, not the excuse. That is not love. That is control. Lesson 2. Quiet does not mean worthless. Some people bring value by listening and remembering, not by being the loudest voice in the room. Lesson 3. If your self-esteem depends on making your partner feel smaller, the relationship is already unhealthy, no matter how good it looks from the outside. Lesson 4. Testing a painful belief can be scary, but reality is usually kinder than the story a controlling person tells you about yourself. Lesson 5. The people who truly care about you will notice your absence and ask where you are. The ones who do not notice were never really your people. What about you? If you were in Ethan's place, at what point would you have stopped going to those events? Have you ever had someone convince you that you did not matter, only to find out the opposite was true? Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know how you see this story.